Hear ye. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dukes of Gaming. I'm your host, Thomas, and it's good to be here with you all this week talking about video games. First and foremost, let me introduce my fellow Dukes of Gaming. First and foremost, we have the Duke of Nostalgia. How are you, Taylor?
Doing great. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, reading Shakespeare in manga format, so I'm having a good time.
Of course you would be doing that.
Yes, it's a totally me thing. Duke of Anime, you already know. How are you doing? We have the Duke of Education to my bottom right. How are you, Alfredo?
I'm doing great. It's February, so my wallet is not very happy with me this month, but I'm
None
happy
of
because
ours
lots of
is.
games.
Yeah, ebbs and flows of a gamer.
Already? We haven't even hit the busy season yet. We haven't
I-
even gotten to the end of February.
Look, we're how many games in now? We got Sifu tomorrow. I just got Dying Light. Pokémon Arceus came out, but I refused to buy that because I let my wallet rest. So we're in it. We're in it.
Well, these games will be here even after the release date.
I can't wait that long. How dare you even insinuate that I can wait? I don't have willpower.
Cole, can you wait? We have the Duke of Rocket League to my right-hand corner. How are you doing, Cole? Can you wait for some of these games, or are you paying for them off top?
I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 6. That's for sure.
Oh man,
you're gonna be waiting. Oh, buddy, you're gonna be waiting.
You don't gotta pay at 70 for a long time.
Trust me. I'm with Rockstar. It's
I'll
just
be 80 by
a
that
waiting
time.
game.
Yeah.
No, this will be the best month this year in gaming, I think. Destiny the Witch Queen, Elden Ring, Horizon, Sifu, and we just got Pokemon.
That's not a bad bet. That's not a bad bet. And Dying Light. Okay, we'll get to that one later.
Yeah, Dying Light. This is the best month of the year, I think.
We'll see. And of course, we have the Duke of Design. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. It's been a big week. It has been a big week, which we can talk about. But I'm doing great, and I'm very excited to be entering into what I think is going to be. I think you're right, Cole. I think this will be the most wonderful month of the year, game-wise.
Yes. I think so
I'm
too.
Very excited about that.
Excellent. Now, every single week we start our show with what have we been playing this week?
Did Clams go? You forgot Clams.
Oh, no. You're always looking out for me. You're always looking out for me.
I got to look out for you.
That's a real friend right there.
It is.
So, Alfredo, you can start. What have you been playing this week?
What have I wasn't ready to go first, but that's what I get for interrupting. Anyway, so I've been playing 2 games. More than 2 games because of February, obviously. But the 2 games I want to talk about is one Kingdom Hearts game that is called Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Chain of Memories, which is the Game Boy Advance spin-off game. And then I've been playing Dying Light 2, Staying Human. Dumb subtitle name, but hey. So first I'll talk about Kingdom Hearts for a little bit because it's Kingdom Hearts and I love it so much. So hot off the heels of our Kingdom Hearts 1 Ben's Book Club, which you should be able to find in the next coming weeks. So don't worry about that, where we do a deep dive into Kingdom Hearts 1. I decided that I wanted to play more Kingdom Hearts because I had such a great, nostalgic, wonderful time. So I decided, having the Kingdom Hearts collection and never touching one of the games within it called Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, that I was going to finally play the game. Well, finally finish the game, because I have started it before and probably only made it about 30 minutes to an hour in and decided I'm not doing this. I hate this battle system. I hate what it's trying to do, so I'm not playing it. So since last year was the year of the backlog and I completed so many games that I have been pushing off, I decided to try to continue that trend this year with this game. So I am at the final boss of Sora's final boss, which I know it's the final boss because Goofy and Donald told me, "Hey, it's the final boss. You need to say." And
I forgot about that.
Right, classic video game logic. So I'm at the final boss, and I can't wait to finish this game so I never have to play it again. My God, I still hate the battle system. I hate the card system. I'm playing on proud mode for some god awful reason because it is so hard just because of the way that this card system works. So basically, in Kingdom Hearts, to keep it short, Kingdom Hearts is a hack and slash game typically. Read Chain of Memories is still hack and slash, but they implement this really, really weird card system to it where you basically have a deck of cards that have different values and do different things, but it's kind of like a card value 1 through 9, and 9 cards that are 9 will be 1 cards. So that's the basic premise. And the enemies will have a card deck, you'll have a card deck, and you basically have to cancel out each other's card deck by having higher numbers than them. So in order to attack, you have to have cards, and it relies on this pseudo hack and slash nature, and I hate it so much. I'm just struggling so much in this game. It's not fun to play this card game when I'm just trying to hack and slash and enjoy these Disney worlds. I don't care for the added complexity of it. But yeah, that's the game, and I'm
Now,
trying to get through it. Thomas told me that it
now
was better on Game Boy Advanced, right? Is that what you
mm-hmm,
said?
mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah, but I'm playing
So,
on PS4, PS5, so I'm struggling.
so I wanna throw. Look, pretend this is red. Pretend this is football. I'm throwing the challenge flag.
Okay. Mhm.
So I'm gonna take this segment over and turn this into a mini reminisce because I have
Okay.
great memories of Chain of Memories. I played this game when it first came out. My grandma took me to she took me to the mall and she bought this game for me. Which no one ever used to buy me video games. I always had to kind of buy them myself. My grandma bought me this video game, so I cherished it. I got through as much as I could, and I hit a wall. This game was hard as a kid, could not get through it.
Still
I
is.
remember it's still hard, yeah, I can imagine. So I remember at church, I brought my Game Boy, which we're not supposed to do, and my friend Trey, shouts out Trey, he said, I can help you beat the game. Let's just like skip out. Let's just go to the like the back like choir room. Let's hope nobody catches us, and we're gonna beat this game together. And we beat that game together. We got through we got through like 4 hours of it that
Oh,
day.
dang.
So I have it was honestly like a co-op game in that sense, even if it's like a single game you could possibly have.
Mm.
I had this game was not,
Oh,
so
I
I
think we're
can't
losing
speak.
you,
So I
Thomas.
can't, you
We
losing
lost
me?
your audio a little bit.
Can
But
you still hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this game, but I was 9. So I can't speak to its
Fair.
quality now.
Fair. What I will say about this game is that it is ridiculously hard only because of the card system, but you can easily also because of the way the card system is structured, you can easily cheese all of the bosses. Like you can just spam basically unblockable attacks specifically for the bosses. So it's weird because it's hard for like the regular battles, but and the bosses, but for the bosses there's a workaround to it. So, it's a give and take. I don't like how it's balanced. I don't like the card system. I just want to finish it so I can finally play the rest of this great series that everyone knows it is. Also, as a Kingdom Hearts fan, I'm supposed to know what's going on. And I really feel like this is the start of the downfall of convolution because every cutscene, me who knows the lore of Kingdom Hearts, I'm going like, what? What are you talking about? Like they are not explaining anything at all. They're just acting like it's basically structured that it's a mystery of what's going on, but it's happening for 15 hours where they're just not saying what's going on at all. It's ridiculous. I
The
digress.
weird thing is it's basically Kingdom Hearts 2. like
It
like
is,
it
but
theoretically is because you cannot play Kingdom Hearts 2. Like I don't
you
understand how
can.
you
I did. You can
but
totally
like
just go to Kingdom Hearts 2.
yeah, you can, but this is integral to the story. Like it literally makes the first 2 hours of Kingdom Hearts 2 make sense.
That's true.
Even though the whole story doesn't make sense at all.
I will
In the
say
realm of Kingdom Hearts, it makes sense.
that's fair, but Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix does a great job at basically covering the gap of what happened. They don't exactly tell you what happened, but you don't need to know. This whole story seems inconsequential, to be honest, because Kingdom Hearts 2 does a better job explaining what's happening, basically. But I don't want to talk about this game because it sucks anymore. So I'm going to talk about Dying Light 2, my first impressions of the game, because Dying Light 2 just came out. And I've been playing I'm probably about 10 to 12 hours in. So I played single player. I've also played multiplayer with my good friend, Eduardo Armenta. Shout out to you. And just a brief history of my time with this game. Dying Light 1, I was a huge fan of. I first got the game when I was in college, and it was the first game that got me into first person, not shooters, but first person games, because it is a parkour, Mirror's Edge type of game where you're basically doing parkour zombies. So think of The Walking Dead, but you're parkouring all over the place with zombies everywhere. You're getting chased by zombies. It's a good time. So the first game was more or less a cult hit, like a sleeper hit. The community loved what they got. The parkour was amazing. The story wasn't amazing, but it was good enough for a zombie story. And it was fun. It allowed you to do 4-player co-op for the entirety of the story. And that was pretty rare in terms of what this kind of game used to offer, because it would only be single player games like Mirror's Edge where you can parkour. Now you could do it with friends. So game was good. I wanted more. They took I wouldn't say like a decade. I think the original game came out in 2013. This game finally came out just now, and people basically have been waiting for more of the same. I wanted more of the same, just like, improve it to modern 2022 kind of gameplay, graphics, all of that. And my first impressions are that this game delivers. This is exactly what I wanted out of the sequel so far. It's incredibly fun. I didn't get the chance to play this game before day one patch came out, so I'm playing it with the day one patch, and I am running into very, very few bugs. I have maybe a total in the 12 hours that I've played so far. I've only run into very minor bugs such as, oh, the quest marker like isn't loading properly. I might just have to go out of my game and come back in. That happened like one time.
No crashes or anything?
No crashes at all have
What
happened.
are you playing on?
I'm playing on PS5. My friend is also
Yeah.
playing on PS5, but
Oh.
we got a gigantic day one patch, which was like 25 gigs. So it was pretty hefty. So I think that they fixed a lot of things, because I have not run into any serious game breaking bugs so far, luckily. And I have just been having the best time, the most fun time running from zombies. It's more of the same. If you loved the first game, you're gonna love this game. The story is, so far, I'm not very far in the story, because the world is so fun that we've just been doing more of side missions and like just parkouring around the place. So I haven't gotten too far, but from what I have done of the story, it is intriguing enough that I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lot of drama going on, but I'm interested. Like, it's not boring so far. So it's keeping me engaged there. The side activities are pretty fun. And the multiplayer is not phenomenal, but way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, really, really difficult to be able to play with multiple people. It's not. It's streamlined. Crafting weapons is fun. Everything about this game is super fun. So it is more of the same that you got in Dying Light 1. But if you like that, definitely see into getting this game, because it's awesome. Any questions,
Gotcha.
class?
One. I have one. Is the story, and tell me if this doesn't make sense. If this is the story more HBO or CW?
That's a great question. So I'll have to follow up with you next week when I get farther
Okay,
in the story. But
cool.
so far, the story is definitely not HBO, but it leans toward CW. It does lean towards CW, but it's more in the middle of those two so
Okay,
far.
fair
So
enough.
far.
Does it take
AMC.
itself seriously?
Yeah, AMC. No, it is better than AMC, I will say.
Okay.
AMC is Breaking Bad.
I don't like
AMC got
Breaking
some.
Bad, but we're not going to talk about that.
We're a gamer podcast, but that's heresy.
How was the performance for you?
Like graphically, game wise, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's very good. Again, let me not say that. It's better than I thought because a lot of the reviews of people playing this game have been saying it's buggy, it's crashy, game performance is bad. But for this game, for what I've experienced, the performance is very good. I might have some issues with no, I was gonna say I might have some issues with some gameplay, but stepping into the gameplay a little bit, in the beginning, you feel incredibly weak.
Hmm.
Incredibly weak. But the way that the RPG skill tree structure is set out definitely leans to making you becoming a badass. I'm not very far in it yet, but they do block some basic things that you think you would get, like climbing speed. Like you're so slow in the beginning, like you can't sprint in the beginning. There's no way you can sprint. You got to get that through, skill points. There's just some basic things there that I
You
wish you
can't
had in the
sprint?
beginning. You can't sprint unless you unlock it, but you're kind of sprinting all the time, but you can't L3 click to like burst sprint
Uh,
like you're used to until you
okay.
unlock it.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah. But
Cool.
the gameplay wise, very, very good. What's interesting and how it differs from the first one is that in the first Dying Light, you were incredibly scared of being in the dark. Nighttime was completely deadly. Like if you found yourself at night, you would have to run to hell like safety, and it felt incredibly hard, incredibly challenging. It was filled with tension. This game, minor spoilers, but not really because it's kind of in the title. Everybody in the town that you're playing at is already infected, and they switch the game to where it is still more deadly at night when you come out, but instead you're always playing against a timer. So until you turn into a zombie, basically. So if you're in the dark, then you have a timer clicking down until you turn. So by the time that timer hits 0, you need to make sure you are in safety. You are in it is daytime or daylight, or you need to be like a UV light in order to not turn into a zombie. So it
Hmm.
makes it a little less tensionless because you aren't really that scared to go out at night. But it's just an interesting choice that they made, that nighttime used to be deadly, whereas this time you're kind of is still a big giant playground that you're in, but you got to be careful of your timer, whether or not it's day or night, so that you don't turn into a zombie and lose. So
Hmm.
interesting change in dynamic, but it's still very fun.
Interesting.
Are you playing with like 60 FPS or are you playing with a ray
Yep.
tracing on?
Yep. I'm playing in performance mode. It does offer
Cool.
I think 3 different modes, kind of like Spider-Man. So you have performance mode, performance plus, and then graphics mode. I'm playing in performance mode. I believe all of them. I want to say all of them play in 60 though. Don't quote me on it. I need
So
to check.
there's really no survival element to it, like because that was the appealing part about the last game was the fear at night, and I feel
There
like that
definitely,
takes away from the game not having that.
yeah, there definitely is a survival element to it in that the timer, you don't want to turn into a zombie, so you're always making sure, okay, I only have 2 minutes left until I turn into zombie, and I need to get in and get out of this specific place in 2 minutes. And in multiplayer, it's even more scary because you're playing in multiplayer. The time can never be paused because you're playing with somebody else. So you don't have time to, oh, I gotta craft this weapon
Hmm.
or add this mod like when you're out in the field. It's like, no, we gotta grab this and then we gotta run. So it just changes the dynamic a little bit. I do like it. I did like the original concept of night was basically the end all be all. I did like that a little better, but this definitely helps to differentiate the two games and make it stand on its own. And so far, I'm liking it.
Cool.
But yeah,
That's
good.
dope.
Dying Light 2 is a good game. Bugs have been all but fixed. It's definitely not something like a Cyberpunk kind of bug riddled game that I thought I would be getting. They did a good job for how big this game is. So everyone should. I would definitely recommend it if you are interested in this type of gameplay.
You heard it here first. Got
Very
Alfredo recommendations.
It's
Go on
true.
and get it.
Don't watch Breaking Bad though. That show sucks.
Okay.
Oh my
You
god.
say so.
I feel offended.
Hey, I
Taylor,
watched all
what-
5
You
seasons.
just don't
Just
like
saying.
meth. You just admit your biases. You just don't.
You're
you've been-
anti-meth. You're anti-meth.
Come on.
No
What
comment.
a- what
No
a-
comment.
goat show. What a noob. What a noob against meth in 2022. Come on.
No comment.
Anti-bald too.
What? That's just false.
Mm.
I have to step out. Anyway, who
Anti-cancer?
else
What?
wants to
You
go?
don't like cancer?
Anti-cancer.
I mean, yeah.
Anti
Nobody
Jesse.
likes
Oh
me.
my god, man. Oh man. Taylor, what have you been playing this week?
I have just been playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, trying to get to the end. Thomas, how does it feel to be right that it is indeed the fastest selling Pokemon game?
I'm Nostradamus. What can you say?
What do you know? I'm getting close to the end game now, and I can say for at least the first half of the game really holds up. It's really a solid game. But later into the game it starts to crumble in on itself. It's not bad. It never becomes bad. Never becomes as bad as other Pokemon games, but it does start to slog. The gameplay mechanics do start to feel a bit not repetitive, but no, repetitive.
That was my thought process too, and I've seen it. Where I've seen videos where I'm like, this looks like it would be cool for 10 hours. And then
Yeah.
like after that, I'm like, all right, so I gotta catch a Psyduck, another Psyduck who knows how to do quick attack. Is that kind of how it is?
No, not really. You kind of just start to storm through the game and just start catching Pokemon like crazy, which is still fun. It's still fun, and there's still challenging moments, but they become farther and few in between. You start to get over leveled very fast by the end of the game. At least I think so, because I think the final zone kind of matches you up with your level, and you actually have a bit of a challenge. I only just got there, and it seems a little bit harder than the last two zones, which I just sort of swept through. But yeah, it's a good game. It still makes me. I couldn't go back to another Pokemon game right now. I couldn't pick up any other Pokemon game because this is end all better than all of them. Without a doubt. It feeds off of all of Pokemon's good ideas that it's had in every single version of a game, whether that be Red and Blue, Coliseum and XD, and or Pokemon Snap. Kind of pulls from all of that. The side missions have gotten me a lot of fun. I've been wasting my time a little bit too much with the side missions. They're cute. All of the side missions are cute. A kid gets kidnapped by a Pokemon. You gotta go find her. You have to find the hairdresser one Pokemon because she wants to see its hair. Like that's all cute little
Very
filler
different quests.
filler nonsense. I kind of wish those quests were more scattered around the map. I guess I kind of wish I could be wandering an empty zone, bump into a character, and sometimes you do, but not that much. I wish there were more moments that felt really impactful in the field, in the actual open world part of the game, where you bump
More
into someone
organic.
and yeah, more organic. I wish I bumped into
Yeah.
someone. They're like, "Oh, I lost my Pichu. It ran away. Can you go find it for me?" And you go do it and get it back. And yeah, I wish because all of the quests, or at least like 80% of the quests, are kind of concentrated in the main hub of the game.
Did you ever
okay.
find? Do they have different towns, or no?
There are 2 different towns on the map, and that's only because you are technically explorers and you're on some ancient holy ground, and the 2 tribes that have lived there for a long time have little settlements. But they're kind of tucked away on the map. because they don't like outsiders.
Do all the
So
So
buildings
you're like
look the
Christopher
same?
Columbus,
You're a
essentially.
little bit like
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus. The natives are a lot happier with you though, because you're saving them from the noble Pokemon, which are these still cool boss fights. Still cool boss fights. I gotta give Nintendo credit or Pokemon credit for adding boss fights because they're still pretty fun and challenging. They're the only part of the game that's like really like stuck out to me as that's something new and much more difficult than other Pokemon games. So
Excuse me, Pokeskeptic, Duke of
yep,
Education here. I
yep.
have a question.
Uh,
Would you recommend this game to someone like me who is not necessarily a Pokemon fan?
Yes.
Okay.
With like the caveat of don't go in expecting the most impressive story because they and it might just be the translation team. I know Pokemon has a very small translation team. Very small translation team for an international game of such magnifique epic proportions. But like the dialogue is so boring.
Aw.
It's especially later in the game. Again, like other games, like at the beginning of the game, it's just sort of constant, but it dwindles fast, and you start playing the actual game. But then every single time you finish your mission, you go back and you have like conversations with people, and it's just slogs. It's just ugh. But
is
that's
there a way to
Pokemon.
play in Japanese?
Yeah, but it would be text. It wouldn't be.
Oh, text too. So is there no
There's no voice
verbal?
acting. There's no voice acting.
Oh, there's not. Okay.
No.
Oh.
Your character does go oh
Wee! When they get like
Um,
slammed.
yes,
by a
yeah,
boss.
your character does have voice acting technically. It's the first very 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 small step into voice acting.
We'll take
But
it.
That's
yeah,
sound
we'll take it.
acting.
Yeah. It's still a very good game, all things said and done. I'm enjoying it. I'm seeing flaws. The graphics just get worse and worse, honestly. Like
Oh.
they finished that the first part of the game looked gorgeous and then they kind of just sort of gave up by the end. And because I was like, oh, the trailers made it look so much worse than it actually is. And I will say, playing in handheld mode, the graphics look better than um, on docked mode. But they do start to look like really bad GameCube models by the end of the game. All the environment assets, at least the actual Pokemon characters, still remain pretty damn good for the amount.
Best they've ever been, right? That's what you said
Oh
last
yeah,
week, right?
100% best they've ever been. Because they clearly put the time and effort into making the Pokemon feels lively. I don't know. That's really all I got to say. Is I'm getting close to the end, and I'm starting to notice the rough edges more and more. But I still believe, without a valley of a doubt, that this is the best Pokemon game ever made. Which
Right
isn't
now it
saying
has
much.
right now it has an 84 on Metacritic. Would you agree with that rating?
84 or 94?
84.
Yeah, 84 sounds about right. That doesn't sound too far fetched. I've seen people giving it 10 out of 10s and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, it doesn't deserve that. It definitely deserves more praise than every other Pokemon game, though. And you know what? Again, I'm really excited for the future of Pokemon, like Pokemon Legends Mew, Pokemon Legends Zygarde, and there's so many like Pokemon does a good job of lore building in the background, a pretty substantial job of like history lore building, like pretty long stuff in the past, and they got a lot of options to play with. They've given themselves the perfect vehicle for new Pokemon games like this, and I can't wait. I hope if it's the best selling game, please Game Freak, keep making games like this. Get better each time, keep doing it, and I'll stick with you. You go back to the old formula, it's I'm out, you know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, me, Ben, and Cole are linked in one of our games. So I guess I'll go and do one of the other game that I was playing first. I have been playing Uncharted, the Thieves Collection,
Nice.
specifically Lost Legacy. I am really enjoying this game. I played maybe 2 hours of it when it first came out. And just never went back to it. I don't know. I guess I played it really close to when I played like a game that was, I think, Tomb Raider.
Mm.
And so I was just kind of burnt out on that style of game. I didn't want to climb anymore. You know, this janky shooting isn't appealing to me right now. I don't know. So I waited a while for it, and then once they announced this collection, I remember we all kind of reacted to the PlayStation showcase, and we all said, "They're selling this $50? What?" But they did not reveal that it was going to be $10 just to upgrade if you already own the games. So I upgraded for $10, got an Uncharted movie ticket as well. So I'm going to go see that next week.
Nice.
And truth be told, Lost Legacy might be my favorite Uncharted game. It might just be.
That's good.
Chloe is a great protagonist.
Best girl.
Yeah, that's arguable. I think that Nadine,
No, it's not. But go ahead.
it's arguable. I think Nadine is a great like Sully role where she's like on the side, but she's still contributing heavy to the plot. I really like Sam in the game as well. I like that it takes place in the same storyline as 4, but it takes place with enough time from it where it kind of feels like its own thing. So it doesn't feel like you have to, even if you haven't played Uncharted 4, it's not something you really have to play. I think the gunplay and this is the best gunplay this series has ever had, just because it's a little different from 4 because there's a lot more swinging involved, and there's a lot like I think the level design is just a lot better than 4 because there weren't that many open areas in 4 that I can recall. I remember 4 was a very linear experience. This one has a lot more. It's more open world ish. If you all played The Last of Us, everybody who's played The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the opening area of Seattle? Like when you're with Dina on the horse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this game, for like half of it, is essentially that. Where you are basically in this, I forgot what part of the world they're in, but you're in this like Amazon-like place, a lot of trees, and you have the truck, and you're just able to drive around and complete the quest as you go. Kind of in an open world style. And you'll encounter different combat situations where you have a big like open space to work in.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was pretty janky combat and pretty janky play actually very improved just due to the 60 frames per second, which is I've never
that's what I was
experienced.
going to ask, like how much you thought it was the 60 frames that made the difference.
I think it really did make the difference for me because I completed Uncharted 4 maybe twice, and last time was like 2017. And I like it, but going back to it, it's kind of hard because it just looks like a PS4 game. This looks like a legit PS5 game, like bar none. Like I was playing it when my friends was over. He's like, "Oh, this is a new Uncharted game." I'm like, technically, not really, but it looked that amazing. Like this is not just an upscale. It's not a full on remake per se, but this is one of the best looking PS5 games, bar none. Mostly because Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy already look great. So giving them this extra fidelity, it runs at 4K. I'm running it just a regular performance mode, which is upscale 4K and 60 frames. There is a fidelity mode that runs at native 4K and 30 frames, and a performance plus mode that runs at 1080p at 120. I haven't tested out that mode yet because I don't feel like playing in 1080, but I've had a great time with this. Highly recommended. One of the best PlayStation 4 games and one of my favorite PlayStation 5 games so far. So
nice.
Yeah. And then the other game I've been playing was 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Ben has kind of touched on it. If you like Evangelion, if you like something like Steins Gate, this is right up your alley.
Oh no. I don't like both.
Oh no.
Either one?
I haven't tried Evangelion, but I definitely do not like Steins Gate. So I'm gonna have to pass.
So do you not like the Steins Gate anime or the visual novel?
The anime.
Okay. Have you tried the visual novel?
I have not.
I
Because
would
I
say
hated the anime.
I would say the visual novel's worse in my opinion. I
Oh,
tried
really?
playing
Okay.
the
I've
because
only
I
played the
could
visual novel.
the
Mm.
visual novel, it just goes way too long. Like I remember I played like maybe 8 hours of the visual novel. And I feel like I got through those 8 hours in 4 episodes of the anime. I'm just like,
Yeah.
geez, this is dragging.
The visual novel is very long, but I think the upside of that is that you get much more investment in the characters by the time
Mhm.
things start getting really weird.
One of these days
Yeah.
I'll go back, and I've tried watching it like 3 different times. Couldn't do it.
Well,
One of these days.
it's not a one-to-one comparison. It's more so just the time travel aspects of it are very like Steins Gate-esque. Not
Okay.
there's I agree with you because I didn't like a lot of the characters in Steins Gate. It's nothing like that. Like I actually like the characters in this a lot. I think that there is some really great writing here. I like that, it really is kind of capturing the different eras of Japan, depending on what year you're in. I'm at like 4 hours in, having a really good time with it. It's my nighttime game where I'm just laying back in bed, just like playing. I don't I put on easy mode, so I don't have to deal with going through thinking about the combat. So yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
Cool.
But I've also been playing, and so has Ben and Cole. I've been playing a little indie game or former indie game,
Not anymore.
but not anymore, called